Coming up on Pistons in Focus, presented by Chevrolet. His path to superstardom is the one less traveled, and for Ben Wallace, it certainly made all the difference. The undrafted center from Whitehall, Alabama, was told he couldn't make it in the NBA. But 4 All-Star appearances, 4 Defensive Player of the Year trophies, and 1 World Championship ring say otherwise. Ben Wallace's incredible journey is up next on Pistons in Focus, presented by Chevrolet.
Welcome to Pistons in Focus, where we take a closer look at the careers of the men who made the greatest impacts on franchise history. In this episode, the focus is on Ben Wallace, who we came to know as the face of the 2004 champions, as well as one of the greatest defensive players in league history. But before he exploded onto the Motown and national sports scene, he first had to make an impact at little Cuyahoga Community College in Northeast Ohio. It was 1992 when, as a freshman, Ben Wallace received a tidbit of advice that would forever change his life.
When our equipment manager, who's a real good friend of mine, even to this day, say, man, if you get stronger, you put on about 10, 15 more pounds of muscle. So you'll be a real beast on the court.
Little could anyone know at the time that telling a teenage Ben Wallace he should try lifting weights was like telling a young Jimi Hendrix to think about picking up an electric guitar. The results were astronomically greater than could have been predicted.
The strangest thing about working out is other people see it before you see it, because you're looking at yourself every day. And I went home for the summer, and my brother was like, "Oh," said, what you been eating, man? So you getting big.
Arriving with worn-out sneakers and little else, Wallace would go on to become a Division II All-American at Virginia Union.
Ben is probably the only player I ever had that never asked for anything. He was a poor kid when he came, and had so much pride. If he was broke, you didn't know it. I mean, he didn't ask you for any money. He didn't ask you for shoes.
First leaving from Alabama going to Ohio, that was a big adjustment. And coming here, everything just sort of slowed down and fell in place.
Feel comfortable?
Yeah, I feel very comfortable.
In college, he played power forward and center, or the 4 and the 5 in basketball terms. But as an undrafted rookie with the Celtics Summer League team, he was asked to play in the perimeter as a 2 or a 3, more befitting his true 6'7" size.
I told him point blank, hey, I'm 4'5", and they was like, not in this league. They told me that I was too small, that I'd never make it in this league playing at 4'5".
Ben spent the season in Italy before famously undersized Hall of Fame center Wes Unseld, who was then the GM of the Washington Bullets, offered him a spot with his club, simply saying, "We need you to defend and rebound." Ben spent 3 seasons in D.C., where along with his game, he developed a whole new look.
Me, Chris Webber, Darvin Ham had made a bet, that we was going to see how long that we can go without cutting their hair. And, needless to say, I won a bet, but I never got paid, so those guys was watching, I need no money.
In the 2000 season, and now with the Magic, Ben and his new look fro averaged 8 rebounds in just 24 minutes a game. At season's end, he became a free agent, and one of the first calls the 25-year-old received was from Joe Dumars, who was on the verge of losing free agent Grant Hill to the Magic. As he told a commercial film crew at the time, Ben Wallace was his kind of player.
I think someone asked him, what type of player are you? And he said, I'm a 6'9", 245-pound guy who believes in tagging the other guy before he even gets to tag me. That's who Ben Wallace is.
I came in, I talked to Joe, I talked to a couple other people in the organization or whatever, and I was sold right away. Regardless whether if the trade would have went down or not, I was coming to Detroit.
A trade was worked out, and Grant Hill was sent to Orlando while the Pistons acquired Wallace and guard Chucky Atkins. In his first season in Detroit, Ben finished second in the league in rebounding with 13 a game, while teammate Jerry Stackhouse set a franchise record by averaging nearly 30 points a game. And though the team would lose 50 times that season, it appeared that the seeds for a successful turnaround were in place, especially behind the defensive genius of an undersized center with its oversized head of hair. When we return on Pistons in Focus, we'll track Big Ben's quest for a championship, as well as the real story behind the infamous brawl that occurred at the Palace just a few months later.